We spent a good solid 2 months on the Forma / Morphe / Jacqueline Cosmetics / Playa Hair Care / all of the Forma brands bankruptcy, and it was a lot of negative. Let's just be honest. It was a lot of negative. But today, we have something positive that has come out of that story, and I cannot wait to share it with you and celebrate this win with you. It is such a great story. And then after that, a major beauty subscription has announced that they are leaving the US market, and I have some theories as to why they're leaving that I really want to share with you. Beyond that, I have so many stories for you. We're going to be talking about Kim Kardashian trying to get her shares back from Cody for Skin by Kim. We'll go all into that. We've got some people that were hurt by a spa in New Mexico, and it's really, really freaking creepy. I've got Sean Diddy Combs involved in the beauty space. We've got update on Makeup Revolution. People are losing their minds over this Maybelline ad that who knows whether it's real or not. We're going to talk about that because this one legit confuses me. We've got an indie company taking inspiration from a movie. How far is too far on that? We've got Marlena Stell spilling little tiny hints at her upcoming brands. There is so much to talk about today, so hang tight. We're about to get into all of it right now. Before we do get started, though, we do need to take just a moment to thank this week's sponsor. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to my very echoey bathroom. This episode of What's Been Makeup is very kindly sponsored by Harry's. And if you don't know about Harry's, you are missing out, my friend. It is legit my favorite razor brand of all time. Harry's comes in extra handy for me in the summertime because I personally really like shaved certain areas of my skin when I'm wearing tank tops, when I'm wearing shorts. I like a nice clean, close shave, and Harry's gives that to me better than any other razor I have ever used in my entire life, and this is why. Most of the razors I used before I started using Harry's razors only had 2 or 3 blades. I'm pretty sure they had 3 blades. Harry's has 5. It's German engineered, and it gives the closest shave ever. And for me, the best part about that is I feel like I have to shave less often because the shave is just so close. The other thing I love about Harry's is being busy, sometimes I just forget to re-up on things, and Harry's offers a subscription for razors, so it's just one less thing that you have to worry about in your day. When you sign up for Harry's, you get a pack of razors. You also get, of course, a very nice handle. It's got a really nice grip on there. And then the travel case, which is so nice because it actually stays on the razor, unlike other travel kinds of situations that other razor brands have. You also get a foaming shave gel. Let me just show you how that looks. It looks like that when it comes out. Then, of course, this is way too much for my hand. It's way too much, but you can see it's just really soft and luxurious feeling. So if you're interested in trying Harry's, I do have a clickable link down below that will get you your first starter kit for only $5. Thank you again so much to Harry's for sponsoring this video. I know that I get really excited to partner with brands that I truly believe in their product, truly use all of the time. And I know you all get excited when you see a brand like Harry's as a sponsor on this channel because I know how much you love them too. And with that being said, my friend, it is now time for What's Up in Makeup. We don't usually start off What's Up in Makeup with a happy story because you know what? Drama drives the people to stay with the content. Let's just be honest here. But this stemmed out of drama because the last time we heard about Shelby Wilde, things were not looking good for her. If you are not familiar with her, if you've never heard of her name before, she was the founder of a company called Playa Hair Care. She was freaking crushing it, okay? She started this brand, and in her first year, she had a $1 million sales mark that she hit. In 2019, she was in Forbes 30 under 30. I mean, this woman was crushing it, but then she made a decision that was not the best decision, but at the time she had no idea that she was making a bad decision. She sold her company to Forma Brands, aka the company that was started by people from Morphe. They took over Morphe, Morphe 2, Jaclyn Cosmetics, Playa Hair Care they had acquired. They took over Lipstick Queen. There was a bunch of, it was an incubator brand. They took over a bunch of smaller brands. They were doing some stuff for REM Beauty, and then they declared bankruptcy. So unfortunately, in all of this, in the big shuffle, Shelby said that Forma Brands did not help her brand to grow after she sold it to them, and she sued them for $15 million. Playa was acquired by Forma back in 2020. By 2021, she was out of the company. She wasn't even helping with it anymore, according to the articles down below. And in 2022, that's when the lawsuit was brought. Now, according to very recent bankruptcy documents, because believe it or not, I am still keeping an eye on them, and they are still, they're still popping up every once in a while. The bankruptcy court for Forma formally rejected the contract between Forma and the warehouse that it had fulfilled the Playa products, and it did mention back in April, I believe, Shelby's name in the documents, and it said undisclosed for the amount, so I'm not sure if this had to do with her lawsuit or what was happening there, but it had said specifically that her claim was contingent, unliquidated, and disputed. But basically, financially, it looks like she didn't get anything out of the bankruptcy, but again, we don't know that for sure. But there is very good news for Shelby, because I said this was turning good. Shelby is back. She has started a new hair care brand called California Naturals. And it is different but the same as Playa. Let me explain. What happened was with Playa is she was selling $30 shampoo, $30 conditioner, $60 for the pair, and she felt weird about that. She knew there was a huge markup on it, and it felt kind of icky to her. So when she wanted to relaunch a brand, she was like, you know what? We're going to have the same great formulas, but we're going to knock the price down considerably. So her new brand, all of the products are $10 or less, and they're all being sold at Target. The products just launched on July 9th, and they include a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, a daily shampoo and conditioner set, a leave-in conditioner, a hair mask, a body wash, and a moisturizer. Now, she did do an interview with Glossy, and this is what Shelby said. Quote, technology has advanced in such a way where we're able to formulate with better ingredients for mass market and not lose on product quality. And given the wider margins in the prestige category, I knew there was a lot of maneuverability to create something equally high quality for a significantly lower price. She continued in the interview about Playa. She said, I'm proud of what we created at Playa, and I feel that the business made an impact in Sephora and clean hair care, but I view California Naturals as the maturation of Playa. The formulas, packaging, and fragrance are better. It's cleaner and more universal. So congratulations to Shelby. Damn the man, save the empire. Have you ever sold something and then realized later that you should not have sold it? For me, it was a doll that I sold at a yard sale that a fellow 10-year-old haggled me down to like $2 on my favorite doll that my mom was having me sell. Her name was Jenny, and she was really cute, and I sold her, and I had instant regret afterward. Well, it took Kim Kardashian a little bit longer to have some regret over selling a 20% stake in Skin by Kim to Cody. Now that she is relaunching her beauty brand and her fragrance brand under the Skin name, she's like, Cody, I kind of want my shares back. At the time, the shares were valued at, get this is 2020, they were valued at $1 billion. Like, oh my gosh. But the thing is the Wall Street Journal says that they don't know now how much the shares are valued at. And the people that told them about what was happening said that there is a good chance that it could fall through and that Kim wasn't going to be able to get her shares back. But she is really trying. Honestly, if I were her, I would want the shares back too, because I have a feeling that this relaunch is going to be huge for Kim. It's all going to depend on the formulas, building up brand loyalty through high quality products, but we're just going to have to see. So this next story is really gross, and I'm warning you ahead of time because I know some people are really sensitive to stories about medical procedures, stories about blood, and stuff like I'm not trying to gross anybody out. So right here is going to be the timestamp to skip ahead if you are squeamish and don't want to hear about these things, because we're going to be talking about vampire facials and some things that went terribly wrong with some vampire facials. Now, if you have never heard of a vampire facial, Kim Kardashian actually, speaking of Kim Kardashian, made them pretty popular back in 2013. She was on a show with her sister. That show was called Kim and Courtney Take Miami in 2013, and in that show she got a vampire facial and she is visibly uncomfortable. It turns out that she was pregnant at the time, she couldn't have the anesthesia, and she felt everything and that it was horrible. Now later on, Kim said that she regretted getting that facial because it was horribly painful and she didn't really see a whole lot of results from it. Now, she did say, she admitted, one of her sisters, I forget which one, might have been Courtney, and different people that she's heard have had great results from it. She said she didn't really see enough from it to go through that again. And supposedly, reportedly, it was $1,500, which is a lot of money for a facial. This story is coming with a big dose of caution because there was a spa in New Mexico that was infecting people with HIV during their vampire facials. The New Mexico Department of Health is telling people who got injection services like vampire facials or Botox at a spa called VIP Spa in Albuquerque that they could be at risk for blood-borne infections like HIV and hepatitis C. How freaking terrible is this? This happened back in 2018, and they just identified a victim of this last week. And this goes along with people that were already identified as victims. There were 2 that are identified in 2019 and at least 1 in 2018. Turns out the spa was actually shut down back in 2018 after the first person came forward. They came in to inspect the place and it was disgusting. Inspectors found numerous health code violations and unsafe infection control practices, including unwrapped needles, blood being dumped in the kitchen sink, and unlabeled syringes beside food in the refrigerator. Last summer, the owner of the spa was actually held accountable for this, and she was given 3.5 years in prison after being found guilty of a list of crimes, including racketeering, fraud, as well as 5 counts of practicing medicine. I have to go to the next page because there's so many things. Practicing medicine without a license, 6 counts of money laundering, 4 counts of tax evasion, and 7 counts of willful failure to collect and pay taxes. The fact that somebody was identified as someone who had contracted HIV from this spa back in 2018, they were just identified last week, is absolutely terrifying. So that was why I wanted to bring it up now, just in case. I know I have people who watch What's Up in Makeup from all over the world, all over the US mostly. So if you are in that area and you happen to get any kind of service from that spa, whether it was Botox or vampire facial or whatever, the New Mexico Department of Health is offering free confidential testing to anyone who got any procedure done there, just to make sure that you're okay. So if you are in that area and this does apply to you, I hope that you consider going and taking them up on their offer. It's absolutely a horrible story. We need something happy after that. So I have a happy story for you. We have Sean Diddy Combs, who is known for doing all kinds of things. This man is entrepreneur extravaganza. Like, he's of course been in music, but he's been in so many different entrepreneurial things that he's done. And I'm honestly surprised it took him this long to get this deep in the beauty space. He has just launched, as of last week, a curated online marketplace specifically for Black-owned businesses, including beauty brands, and it is called Empower Global. It's designed to allow customers to shop more than 70 Black-owned brands across beauty, fashion, art, and lifestyle, while providing opportunities for entrepreneurs to grow their business. But they're not done there. They are looking to grow the site to over 200 brands just by the end of 2023. In a press release, Empower Global said, "Through Empower Global, we aim to foster sustainable growth and create lasting opportunities that will leave a positive and enduring impact on the Black economy." Diddy is also an investor in a company you may have heard of. It's called 13 Lune. and they highlight beauty brands from BIPOC founders. Speaking on the new company, Diddy himself said, "My mission has always been to empower Black entrepreneurs and create more opportunities for them to access the resources, tools, and support they need to build successful businesses." And if you are interested in shopping, there will be a non-affiliated link down in the description box down below so you can go check it out. My hair is frizzing. Oh my gosh. I have no air conditioning. So if I'm schwitzing a bit, it's because it is hot in here under these lights. So please excuse the sweat. Anyway, who is sweating right now are the people over at Makeup Revolution and also the people at BooHoo. Allow me to explain. So the short story is, I'll link the last episode of What's Up in Makeup that has a longer version, but the short story is that there's people that are running Makeup Revolution, right? There's 3 major people running it. And then there's BooHoo. They are a fast fashion company out of Britain, and they have their own people. So the BooHoo people, who own 6.6% of Makeup Revolution, want to put their own people in the leadership positions and boot out the people who are currently there. They had a vote. It was real messy. The people got fired, but then they immediately got rehired, and BooHoo was pissed because they wanted their people in, and they demanded that in August they have another meeting to again try to boot out the people that are running it and put their own people in. Well, this week the update is it probably won't take till August. They are talking about settling. Revolution, of course, is urging shareholders to let them keep their people in. BooHoo is trying to get shareholders to let them put their people in. Who knows what's going to happen at the vote, but it looks like it's probably going to happen pretty soon. The rumor has it that the CEO, the dude Bob Holt, who's like the main guy over at Revolution right now, is like, if there's a settlement, then I am going to quit. And that's going to be the end of that if we settle with these people who tried to stage a coup. He sounds really pissed from the articles down below. So we will see whether Bob Holt just is like, you know what, F this place, I quit. I'll let you know when it happens, if it happens. Y'all, Glossybox is leaving the US. They posted on Instagram that as of July 10th, it is with a heavy heart that we are departing from the US. We will unfortunately no longer be offering our Glossybox subscription service to the US with effect from July 1st, 2023. They said that if you have an active subscription, that what they're going to do is they're going to count how many boxes you were supposed to get and then refund you that money. And that the last box for US customers was the June box. So everybody should get their June box, but nobody in the US is getting July. They also said that they're going to continue to be active in other regions, including the UK and the EU. So they are still in business, but not in the US. And let me tell you, Glossybox tried to work with me a couple of times. They sent me a few boxes, and there was no way that Glossybox was keeping up with BoxyCharm and Ipsy. It just wasn't as good of a subscription. It was expensive, and the products that came in it just weren't as good. The system wasn't as good, the way it was set up. People in the comment section there were talking about poor customer service. It seems like the Glossybox US version just had a lot of freaking issues. I did not purchase it. I think I purchased Glossybox maybe in 2014. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a hot minute since I bought it. So I can't speak from a customer's perspective, just from like seeing what was in the box and just kind of being like, I don't think this is worth it. Like, I don't think this is worth the money. And I told them specifically, I don't feel comfortable you sending me this box because it's not good enough to share with my audience. That's what it comes down to. It's just not a great box. And now they're leaving the US, and I'm honestly not surprised. But if you've been a Glossybox customer, I would love to know your thoughts, because you have a completely different perspective that is probably way more valid than mine could ever be. And then finally, in top news, before we get into some actual newsy stuff that's happening in the product report, people were losing their minds over this video. And this is the thing. Digital graphics can look really real. Like, I know this. And when I saw this video, I was like, is this real? This has to be digital. Like, this can't be real. But then all the articles I was reading were telling me that it was real. Like, the places that I trust were telling me that it was real. And I'm like, is it though? Let me just show you, and you can decide whether you think it's real or not.
Because I'm sitting here and I'm questioning myself because I'm like, this can't possibly be real, but it does look kind of real. But the news articles are saying that it's real, but everybody on Twitter was telling me that it's not real. I feel like the train part looks pretty real, but the bus one, I feel like the way that it lays on the building looks kind of fake. I found one source that said that this was fake, and it was a website called editorji.com, which I've never heard of and normally don't trust sources like that. But the source that I trust, which is Global Cosmetic News, said that it was real. And they had said their source was a UK publication called Evening Standard. So if you're in the UK, you'll have to tell me, like, how reliable is Evening Standard? Because it seems legit. Like, going over there, it seems legit. I don't know. The general consensus over at Twitter when I reposted this was that it is fake. This is the big thing against it being fake, is because this is the only video. So if this were actually real, wouldn't there be other videos at this point of people capturing this? I'm like 99.9% sure this is fake. It's just Global Cosmetics News had me questioning myself. But I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments down below. But either way, Maybelline got some really nice promotion off of this. Oh my gosh, stop frizzing! Sorry, earbud listeners, for yelling in your ear. Let us get into the product report, because Chi Chic has a new retailer. They are now going to be at JCPenney. So they launched in 609 JCPenney stores in the US. Chi is doing amazing. 1.9 million followers, best known for being a finalist on season 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race. And the Chi Chic beauty brand is part of Bespoke Beauty Brands LLC. If you're not familiar, they were started by Tony Ko, who had started NYX and then sold NYX over to L'Oreal in 2014. So now she's really putting some love into Chi Chic, and I'm so excited for this brand. I hope they do super well over at JCPenney. This launch was really freaking weird. Okay, and I don't know how I feel about this, and I have a feeling there's going to be some really good discussion in the comment section down below on this, because I'm kind of torn on this one. So there's a brand new indie brand on Instagram. It is called Astral Radiance Cosmetics. They just launched their first palette, kind of, sort of. This is what it looks like. Their first post on Instagram was on July 7th, so it really wasn't that long ago, and this was supposed to be their first launch. So their first post is them like announcing the brand, and the second post just says, it's a pink background with white text, and it just says, okay, the Wednesday palette is gone, and the caption says, it's no longer for sale. That's literally the second post on their Instagram. So apparently, it's pretty obvious they took inspiration from the Wednesday show on Netflix to design this palette, okay? But then, for whatever reason, they decided not to sell it. But then, what's weird is a few days later, they were offering it in a bundle with a bunch of other products for $79.99. And then what's even weirder is they said they only had 20 available. And it's like, I know the minimum purchase order had to have been more than 20 for this. Because you can't get, like, is there, like, people that know more about this, can you get 20 of something? Like, when I was looking at starting my own cosmetic company, like, the bare minimum, like, if you paid the highest amount possible you could get was like 500 of something. That was like, you're paying a lot for that too. Like, they preferred you to get 5 or 10,000 of something. Like, 500 was really hard to find. It was hard to find a lab that would do something up front of 500. But to just have 20, that's weird to me. I'm so confused. But then it gets even weirder, because the next post is this one, and the caption says, these are actual swatches. But they're just strips. Like, I don't know, I don't see how, like, unless they like did the swatch and then they zoomed in like super close, because the bottom circle looks like it's a picture of the pan, right? But then that swatch, like, why wouldn't you put it on an arm? So people were commenting, can you show this on actual skin? So then they did. And I will allow you to judge the swatches for yourself. For me, they don't look appealing. They don't look like something that would be of high quality to me, just from the swatches. But we know that swatches don't always tell the whole story, so that's possible. But yeah, it's just real weird. As of filming, the owner said that they had 10 boxes left of the box set. I had so many questions. So what I did was I reached out on Instagram and I asked her, I told her, I was like, hey, I've got this show called What's Up in Makeup on YouTube. I'm going to be talking about it. Is there anything that you want me to tell people about your brand, about this launch? Like, are you going to be selling these as individual products? Because that minimum order quantity doesn't seem like 20. Like, are you sitting on a lot of products? Like, what is happening? As of now, I only contacted her legit like 6 hours ago. So it really wasn't that long ago. But as of now, she hasn't responded, which makes total sense. If I hear anything, I will put it in the description box down below, or we'll talk about it in chat, or I'll make sure I let you know. But I just have so many questions about this. My other big question is, why did she say it's gone? Like, what happened? And when I Google searched for it, what I found was a TikTok video from drama channel Rich Lux. And he was basically just saying that people were going after the brand for copyright infringement and saying that she wasn't allowed to do that because it was infringing on Netflix's copyright, and that she was like saying, well, you know, it's just inspiration. It's not an actual photo that I'm using. It's not a copyrighted image, so I'm fine. We all know in the beauty space that taking inspiration from something that is already popular is a great way to get people to buy your stuff. That's why Makeup Revolution does so many collabs, why freaking Glamlight does so many collabs. There's so many companies that do collabs. Like, Disney's face is freaking everywhere because it's a great way to get people to buy your products that have an emotional attachment to this thing that is not makeup related. They want to collect the makeup that goes along with this other thing that they love. This has been happening literally for as long as my channel has existed. There used to be a company called Chi Chic Cosmetics, and I actually still have a couple of their loose eyeshadows. So this one is called One Ring. It doesn't say Lord of the Rings anywhere on here, but it says One Ring, and let me show you what the image on the front looks like. Then there's this one. This one is called Ruse Lullaby, and it looks like this. So obviously inspired by the Hunger Games. Now, this company no longer exists, but I have seen indie brands over the years taking inspiration from pop culture stuff, from movies, from TV shows forever. So I'm honestly very conflicted about having a problem with this because, like, I get being an indie brand and wanting your company to grow and really loving something and taking inspiration from it. But I also get when you work hard with something, I mean, especially with the writer's strike going on and the actors now striking, that they worked really hard on writing this and creating this, and the actors worked really hard on creating these characters, and then to have somebody else profit off of your hard work is kind of cruddy. Like, I totally get it. So again, I can see both sides of it. I would love to know your thoughts down below because I would love to have a solid opinion on this, but I'm just super conflicted. Okay, this is so exciting. And I will tell you, I am biased because Marlena Stell, I'm very happy to say, is a friend of mine. I freaking adore this woman, and she just released headshots for her next brand, and it is launching winter of 2023. And I'm so freaking excited for y'all to find out what it is. On the post, she's telling people about her Threads account. If you are not familiar with Threads, it's a new iteration that's like Twitter, but it's connected to Instagram. She is now over there. She says, over on Threads, if y'all want to have fun there, we'll be sharing behind the scenes of new brand, sneak peeks, and unfiltered opinions. And you know Marlena's full of unfiltered opinions. And like I said, like, I'm very, not to brag, but I know what the new brand is. And it's awesome. I cannot wait for you all to see it. So excited. But what has been launched is the new Kylie Cosmetics Classic Matte Palette. It's $32. I looked at this. Doesn't this look exactly, almost exactly like the Makeup by Mario palette? The Makeup by Mario palette was called Master Mattes. Look at them next to each other. They are so similar. Oh my gosh, especially knowing the connection that Mario has to the Kardashian family, the Kardashian/Jenner family. Like, so weird that they look so similar. Sephora and Ulta were super freaking boring this week. So I'm just gonna go through it very quickly. The most interesting thing was this Melt Glazed Skin Sheer Finishing Powder, $39 each for these. There's 6 shades, pretty nice gradient there. I feel like they could have built up the medium shades just a little bit, but it is meant to be sheer, so hopefully it works for everybody. They say it's a soft, focused finish that blurs pores, fine lines, and wrinkles, gives a radiant glow for more youthful, fresh-looking skin, lightweight, buildable coverage. They say that there's kaolin clay to balance oil, and that's where the review that was under this, the one review, really hit some red flags for me. I want to share it with you because they're saying that the clay inside balances oil and that the jojoba oil and the vitamin E is also moisturizing, all of that. But the review talks about the second ingredient in this product. It's an ingredient called laurel lysine. And the websites that I use for ingredient stuff, they don't mention how comedogenic laurel lysine is. They don't talk about it causing acne. But pretty much every other place does. Like when you have like the lists of ingredients in makeup that cause acne on whatever news site, Birdie or Pop Sugar or whatever, they all list laurel lysine as something you don't want in your cosmetics if you have acne prone skin, and it is the second ingredient in this product. Of course, you never know with a formula how the ingredients are interacting, what they've done to combat any comedogenic properties or whatever, any acne causing properties. Like you just don't know what's actually happening. But I wanted to give you that information just in case, so you could be an educated consumer and make the decision that's right for you. Moving on from that, we really just have a few shade extensions. We have the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder in Cherry Blossom. It's now been extended to a mini version for $22. We have the House Labs PhD Hybrid Lip Oil extended to minis as well, but just in two shades, the clear and the pink. Those are $14 each. And then there's one product coming soon. This is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Smooth and Blur Undetectable Under Eye Concealer. That is a long name, my friend. $29, 20 shades there. Again, a pretty nice gradient on that. They say it's a skincare inspired formula with hyaluronic acid, jojoba oil, and snow mushroom to, quote, plump the look of fine lines, blur texture, and hydrate the under eye area. They say that the texture is gel-like, it's blendable and buildable, won't cake or crease. It is dropping on Sephora's website on July 20th. Dropped at both Sephora and Ulta's website is the new Too Faced collection. This is the Cosmic Crush collection. At both websites, there's the palette, which is the Cosmic Crush eyeshadow palette. It is $52. There's 16 shades that they call multidimensional and pigmented and range from futuristic metallics and shimmers to modern mattes. They say that it smells like sparkling apple cider. And also at both websites, there's the Moon Crush highlighters in either Summer Moon or Shooting Star. Those are $36 each. They say it smells like crisp apples and claims to give a glossy glow highlight that gives a wet look finish. Over at Ulta specifically, maybe it'll end up at Sephora, it probably will, is the companion products, the Lip Injection Extreme in Cosmic Crush. That's $33. It's their Lip Injection Extreme just with lots of glitter in it. And then they also launched, that we talked about last week at Ulta, the Better Than Sex Foreplay Mascara Primer, the black primer with the little fibers in it. That's $29 for the full size, $16 for the mini, and that was it at Ulta. It is literally the slowest week I've ever seen at both retailers. That means we're about to get hit. Once we hit starting to get into the fall, September is going to blow your mind because that's when we start getting the beginning of the holiday stuff. So they're just warming up, my friend. They're just warming up. All right, for PR purchase product of the week, I held this to myself for a total of 30 seconds. I do have, that I got in PR, the Too Faced Cosmic Crush eyeshadow palette, one of the highlighters, and the Lip Injection Extreme to share a quick first impression review with you. So again, set in PR, but not sponsored. They're not paying me to say this. They just sent me the products to try out. I tried this for the first time today, and I don't like it. I will tell you right now, I do not like this at all. I do like the scent though. The scent really does smell like the apple cider that I give my kids for New Year's, the bubbly apple cider. It smells really, really good, but the performance on these was so mediocre. So mediocre. This shade right here is what I look for. I love these duochrome pinky shades. This is straight, I have it on my inner corner, but I had to pack it and then wet it and then pack it again to get this level of opacity, okay? I'm gonna swatch a couple of these that I have on my eyes today. They were just really pressed hard into the pans and just weak. There's one exception, and it's this shade Moon Glow, which is a really nice shade. Let me swatch. I haven't used this shade yet, but I want to swatch it for you. Ooh, that one actually looks pretty good. That's the called Hypernova. And I'll just swatch These guys, I mean, look at that. For real, like, where did you go? It's awful. So there's some shimmers. Let me swatch some mattes for you too. Like Too Faced, this is not it. This is not it at all. This guy right here, okay, packs onto the lid beautifully, but as soon as you start blending anything, it completely goes away. Like, it is not good. And look at that. What is that? What is that? Let me swatch it again just to make sure that it doesn't build. Okay, so it builds up, okay. That's important to give it a nice solid try. I'll try to build up the other one too, because I want to be accurate with this and you really see. So they do build, but my issue is the blending of it. They literally just blend away, and I had to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I felt like I was back in 2015, honestly. Like, it is just a very mediocre palette, and the best thing I can say about this is that I really like the way it smells. I also really like this matte cream shade. This shade is awesome. I also really like this brown shade here, this Twinkle Twinkle shade. That one's really nice. Of course, I haven't used all of the shades in the palette, but so far, really not liking it. The other thing that's really weird, and you'll have to tell me if you've gotten Too Faced palettes recently, is that there's actually like a little shelf here. It's very odd. So it goes in. There you go. Now I can show you. It goes in like that. It's like a little box. Why did they do that? I have no idea. Maybe just to be different. I don't know. But point is I'm really not enjoying this so far. It's just first impressions. The first time I've used it, I don't know how lasting power is going to be, but it was just so much work compared to other eyeshadow palettes, like pretty much every other eyeshadow palette that I own. Is what it comes down to. The highlighter is very nice. I'm very much enjoying it. It is kind of like, if I had to give this a percentage of from space glowy goddess to very, very sheer, I would give this like a 65%. It does give that wet look. I am wearing it today, but I'm also sweating my face off. So you can't really, you can see the highlighter, but I'm also sweating my face off. So that's a thing. I will swatch it for you so you can see. And it does have a much more mild appley scent. It's definitely not as yummy of a scent as this. This one smells the best, TBH. There's the highlighter on its own. You can see where it's at as far as full opacity. And then when you blend it, there you go. Now you'll be able to kind of see what I'm talking about as far as the shine. So I'm really enjoying this so far. This, I feel like, is the thing that I would actually purchase out of the 3 products. This one is, if you've never tried a lip injection extreme, or if you really like lip injection extremes and you want this one, I would say go for it. Do I think this is a necessity? Absolutely not. They are very burny when you first put them on. The tingly sensation lasts for maybe 15 minutes and goes away, unlike the lip liners that will just burn your lips off for hours. This is not like that. This is just, you know, a little tingly and weird for about 15 minutes. Now, as far as the glitter in here, it really doesn't put off a ton of glitter like you would expect. That is what it looks like at full opacity. And you can see you can't really see glitter chunks in there. And that's the way it comes off on the lips. Speaking of that, let me tell you about my lips. So I am wearing this over top of course, I made my own lipstick. I use the shade. This is my lipstick right here. It is the shade Superstar mixed with lip gloss. This is over top of it. Oh, and this is the other problem with the palette. Sometimes that happens where it gets stuck and you have to just kind of push it to close it. So if that annoys you, that's a thing as well. So thank you so much to Too Faced for sending this over. I think that in order to survive, Too Faced really needs to up their quality. Notable sales this week, not a whole lot going on. If you've been around What's Up Makeup for a while, this used to be the sales and events section, and then COVID killed all the events. So events are coming back. Therefore, we're going to talk about Sephora, which is the return of the experiential beauty event that started in Los Angeles in 2018. They did it for a couple years. Pandemic hit. They stopped doing it. They started doing it virtually. This is the first year they're going back in person. Jessica Stacy, who's the Senior Vice President of External Communications and Event and Experiential Marketing at Sephora. That is a long title. She stated in a press release, while we're grateful for the return to an in-person experience, we also want to recognize the importance of making these events inclusive and broadly accessible to our global beauty community, and we'll do so with free virtual components that are equally as enriching. So if you don't want to go, you don't want to pay for it, there's going to be some things available for you to do online. If you do want to go, it's going to be in New York City, September 29th and 30th. The base price for it is $99, or you can get the $349 for members. I have no idea what the difference is between the two. Couldn't find that info yet, but we're still quite a long way out. I will update you when I know more on that. And the only other sale I wanted to mention to you is Jen Gerard, who I absolutely adore, who's a friend of mine. She is having a sale, and it is Gerard Cosmetics Black Friday in July sale, 51% off site-wide. This does include her hair serum, Hair AF. So go check it out. Link will be down below. And that, my friend, was what's up in makeup this week. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Harry's for sponsoring this video. I appreciate you. And thank you, of course, to the What's Up in Makeup Facebook hunters. Their names are scrolling below me. Thank you for all of your submissions this week. I appreciate you more than words can express. Our chat today will be at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be hanging out, talking about things in the community. I may have some updates for you. I may not. I don't know. But either way, we are going to be here chatting, so if you'd like to join us, please do. But if you can't, it's no problem at all. It's very easy to find on the replay, especially if you're subscribed. You just need to go over to my channel page, click on my videos, and then click on the live tab. That is where all my live streams are housed. If you're subscribed, again, just go over to your subscription feed. Should be right there for you. Thank you again so much for watching What's Up in Makeup. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. It really does help me out a lot. And if you would like to hang out just a little bit longer, YouTube should be recommending a couple of videos for you right over here to watch, including last week's episode of What's Up in Makeup right there. YouTube will pick the top one based on your viewing history, but if you do need to go, it is absolutely no problem at all. Thank you for hanging out as long as you did, and I'd love to you, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye!